How's it going, everybody? And wow, I came across something today that was very well. Let's just get on with the Bible study. I'll speak to it at the end. If you stick around long enough at the end, uh, we'll go over it. So let me set up. All right. So anyway, let's get going here. And to preach the acceptable year of the Lord, and he closed the book, and he gave it again to the minister and sat it down. And the eyes of all of them that were in the synagogue fastened on him, and he began to say to them, "This is the day the scriptures fulfilled in your ears." And all bare him witness and wondered at the gracious words which proceeded out of his mouth. And they said, "Is this not Joseph's son?" And he said unto them, "Ye will surely say unto me this proverb, Physician, heal thyself. Whatsoever we have heard done in Capernaum, do also here in thy country." And he said, "Verily, I say unto you, no prophet is accepted in his own country." I can tell you that, and this is today's Bible study. So every time I do cover this, we'll run into this. I always make sure to explain this from my perspective. If I'm telling you the truth, if the Lord has graced me or shown favor to me and given me his truth, that there is no free will, that Christmas is pagan, that Easter is pagan, that God's ordained the end from the beginning. Everything is set in stone. The day you were born, the day you will die, what you will eat for dinner next Thursday. You have no free will on anything. The Bible verse says he has numbered the very hairs of your head. There is nothing random of this earth. He is a God of math, numbers, all of it. Everything is set to spec. That's why Jesus said, "Don't you know I got to follow the scriptures?" There was no deviation from the script. It's like we're living in a movie where God, the sovereign God, is the writer, director, producer of this thing called Earth Life. And he even came and starred in cameo appearances of God of the Old Testament, God of the New Testament. And God of the Old Testament seemed as if he was reacting to what the Jews were doing. The Jews did this, so then God reacted and then did that, which makes you think everything is random and everybody's got free will. No, that was God playing the role. That was God of the Old Testament playing the role that the sovereign God ordained he would play before the earth was even formed. The word was before anything was. That means the script was written. Sheep were chosen. It says, "For he hath chosen us in him from before the foundation of the world, to be holy and blameless before him in love, having predestinated us unto the adoption of children by Jesus Christ to himself, according to the good pleasure of his will." That's automatic. So sheep are chosen before the earth. Everything is set. The grace passage that they never give you ends in verse 10. They just give you 8 and 9. They never give you, "For we are his workmanship, created in Christ Jesus unto the good works which God hath before ordained that we would walk in the before ordained way before the foundation of the world." So if I'm telling you the truth in all of that, that hell is not eternal torment, that man has no free will, the people that will believe me the least are those that knew me when I was an idiot, because they know you too well. Just like they said, "Is not this Joseph's son?" You mean Trey Stokes is going to tell us the truth above and beyond what anybody else I've ever heard or talked to in my life? Really? So, anyway, but I tell you of truth, many widows were in Israel in the days of Elias, when the heaven was shut up 3 years and 6 months, when great famine was throughout all the land. But unto none of them was Elias sent, save unto Sarepta, a city of Sidon, unto the woman that was a widow. And many lepers, which leprosy was a form of sin, That's why when Jesus cured the lepers, that's a parallel today of him curing our sin nature when he gave people sight. Like today, he gives us eyes to see the truth, ears to hear the truth, a mouth to speak the truth. So all of his miracles and healings were parallels of what he does for his sheep today. And many lepers were in Israel at the time of Elias the prophet, and none of them was cleansed, saving Naaman the Syrian. And let's close out Daniel. And I heard the man clothed in linen, which was upon the waters of the river, when he held up his right hand and his left hand unto heaven, and swear by him that liveth forever and ever, for a time, times and a half, and when he shall have accomplished to scatter the power of the holy people, all these things shall be finished. Great tribulation is 3.5 days. And I heard, but understood not. Then said I, O my Lord, what shall the end of these things be? And he said, Daniel, go thy way, for the words are closed up and sealed till the end times. Many shall be purified and made white and tried, and the wicked shall do wickedly, but none of the wicked shall understand. So the many that are purified are made white and tried are the sheep. The wicked that will never understand are the goats. They don't have any free will in the matter. But the wise shall understand, and that's the sheep again. And from the time that the daily sacrifice shall be taken away, again, the abomination of desolation, and the abomination that maketh desolate set up, there shall be 2,290 days. That's probably covering God's wrath. I don't think these are days where Jesus said, I cut those days short. Blessed is he that waiteth and cometh the 1,305 and 30 days. And that might be intermittent, interwoven in with God's wrath, and then when Jesus returns, as we read through Revelation. Go thy way till the end be, for thou shalt rest. That's what happens when you die. You're asleep. We went over that in yesterday's study, Daniel 12. That's why they say rest in peace. There's nobody up with anybody in heaven and all that kind of stuff. So I'll just leave it at that for now. In case anybody be listening that just went through a tender time, I don't want to be disrespectful. But when you die, you are asleep. The parable of the rich man and Lazarus was just that. It was a parable. Go thy way to the end, for thou shalt rest and stand in thy lot at the end of days. So he will be raised up with Christ at the end times. Anyway, I'm glad y'all are here. I love you very much. 602 is Revelation in Strong's Concordance. June 2nd for Rising Day. May 31st for the event day. North Tower comes to May 31st in the most biblical or the Jewish gematria. Rising on the third day, like they did the Dark Knight. Then 2 days later came out The Dark Knight Rises. 4 years apart. But you see what they did there. They had The Dark Knight Rising film release 2 days after The Dark Knight. In other words, rising on the third day. So the abyss will be open. The spiritual rising will take place 2 days after the fake stage deadly wound to the right eye or the deadly wound to the twin, which will be a very staged event, which will open the book of Revelation for all of us to live in real time, which is what this TV show Real Time with Bill Maher is about. Why it's named that, because you know who their focus is always. And so May 31st event, rising on the third day, would be June 2nd, and 602 is Revelation in Strong's Concordance, New Testament, of course. So anyway, I'm glad you're here. I love you very much. Ask questions anytime. That's what I'm here for.